Okay, so here I am. I'm actually in San Francisco. So that's the city I came to for the interview yesterday. This is a really cool street, and I'm gonna go to a coffee shop now because it opens at 6:30. You know me, I like early. So I'm gonna go study for like an hour and a half, and then I'm gonna go meet someone who I'm really looking forward to meeting. And then after that, I have just a few hours here this morning before flying back. So I have my very tiny suitcase. This suitcase is actually half full. It's the smallest size you can possibly buy, and it's half full. I have almost nothing with me. I'm traveling very lightly. But anyway, so I think we should take a walk now to the coffee shop and then get some studying done before heading to meet Nick. So I'm actually now standing in Union Square, and so if you guys know Marc Levy, the French author, I've read a lot of his books. I have almost all of them. His very first book, Et si c'était vrai, was actually originally called Union Square, and when he sent it off for translation into English, the English translator actually suggested that it wasn't a great title in English, and so he suggested If Only It Were True. And then they realized that in French that sounds really nice, Et si c'était vrai, and so that's how the book actually became titled Et si c'était vrai. But this is Union Square, where that original novel was named after, and this is really cool. Like, I mean, really, I love the climate. Last night was really nice and cool and fresh, as we say in French. Il fait fraîche. It's had a good time, but I do need to get to the coffee shop so that I have enough time to get some studying done. But I'm loving it. Love all these beautiful little square, little park things everywhere. I'm loving this big street. It really reminds me of somewhere like Barcelona with these huge avenues lined by trees. Buildings are beautiful. I love it. I see a lot of colorful stuff over there. I don't know if you can see or not. Anyway, loving it. Oh, look at this street. Hold on. I'm now at a very famous coffee shop, but it's actually interesting because from the outside, all you see is that blue bottle. So this actually is Blue Bottle coffee, and it looks very small inside. There's some space to work. Yay! That is really good. Here in Blue Bottle, and I'm currently studying my Portuguese for the morning, and it's been going really well. All the coffee that I've had here so far has been excellent, really excellent. I've had 2 lattes now in San Francisco, and they've both been probably the best lattes I've had in a very long time. So I'm gonna continue enjoying my Portuguese studies now with my latte, and then we're gonna go meet Nick. Good morning, guys. So I am back from San Francisco, and that trip, it was really fun. I had a great time. Of course, it presented some challenges for my studying because, of course, I was flying. I flew both days, and I was up at all hours of the morning, and of course, I had a lot going on. However, the journey back provided a really interesting opportunity that I seized, and now I feel so good about language learning. I feel better about language learning than I did before the trip. And that is because I suddenly have momentum. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of momentum in language learning, and we'll also discuss a bit the importance of mornings. All right, so I just finished having breakfast, and I spent a good amount of time doing Portuguese reviews on Babbel, and I feel amazing. And so, as you guys know, I was in San Francisco for a job interview. It was the final stage of a pretty long interview process I've been going through for the last, it's been about 3 weeks now, I think. And I should find out on Monday or latest Tuesday, so hopefully I got the job, but I'm not sure. And so it was lovely, but on the way there, I couldn't study at all because I had to leave my house at 4 a.m. Not my house, but the house I'm in. And I had a very long journey with 2 flights. And of course, I was like sleeping and trying to get my mind in the right place because immediately after I arrived, I had to take a lift straight to the office, and then I had 4 interviews. So. And after that, it was lovely. I got to spend time with one of my oldest clients. I've been teaching him Japanese for a couple of years now, and he's actually become a really good friend of mine. And so he drove me all around the city. It was amazing, really nice time. And then the next morning, I actually got to meet Nick, who is part of our YouTube community. It was the craziest thing. We had a really good time. He got me breakfast, and we just really enjoyed talking about language learning. So it was a lovely time, but of course there was no time for studying languages or anything else. And so I think you might imagine that this is the kind of experience that would just totally derail my language learning. But actually on the way back, I had like 5 hours on the plane with pretty much nothing to do except watch movies, sleep, or study languages. And so I took that opportunity. I had my iPad and I downloaded a bunch of Babbel lessons offline, and I did like 3 hours of Portuguese. You can see my tracking sheet. I've been doing mostly reviews, but because I was on the plane, I couldn't do that. So you'll see that now on level 6, I got through like 8 lessons on level 6. So I'm already just about almost halfway through level 6. I did some reviews because you can download a certain amount, and then with German I went through a bunch of lessons because I'm going back through Babbel German now as well for like the 4th time, and it sparked momentum. It's so important. I want you to imagine a friction fire, right? And you're rubbing 2 sticks together, right? And you start to get smoke. So it's heating up, it's getting hot. But all you have is smoke. It hasn't quite burst into flame yet. And that's kind of what I felt like I've been doing for the last couple of months since I started language studies again. Because I was not studying languages for quite a while, and it was very weird for me. And so coming back and having just so much going on, I mean, it's been crazy, right? So but I have stuck to it, like except for that week where I lost all my momentum. I stuck to it, but I felt like I was just rubbing the sticks together, and it didn't catch fire. So my progress has actually been very slow in German and Portuguese compared to my normal rate. But that flight was all I needed. Having that like 3 straight hours just blasting through Portuguese and then 2 hours blasting through German, it really, like, I was rubbing the sticks together and it caught fire. And so now I have momentum, and I believe that momentum is everything. Like in language learning, if you have great momentum and every day you're studying a lot, and there's something about it where you just feel like you're on the right track. And I feel like when you don't have momentum, it doesn't, like, you're spending time with the language, so it is useful, but it just doesn't feel like you're capturing everything. It feels like you're losing a lot of the potential. it's almost like an engine that is not properly calibrated. So with an engine that has not been properly calibrated, there's a lot of potential, right? But the engine is not fully taking advantage, and so you're not getting a lot of power, even though you're using fuel. So I felt like that was my language learning. I was spending the time, that's the fuel, but I wasn't harnessing that and getting a lot of energy and power out of it. And so, yeah, momentum is everything. And so the cool thing is that now I have that momentum. And of course, momentum builds if you keep pushing it. So I feel like now what I have to do is just run with it. Just push, push, push. So this morning I went through a bunch of reviews in Portuguese. I feel amazing, but it's not enough. I want to keep going. I want to do more. I want to blast. So I want to blast through level 6 on Babbel, and then I want to blast through the intermediate. Like I want to just take all that I can do. And I same with German. And one of the people in our community here on this channel, who is an amazing contributor, he supports me in many ways, and he leaves amazing comments. He left a comment on my last video, and I'm not saying this to call him out. It's a really good point that he raised that I want to sort of counter, which is that he said, you know, if you get this new job, you're going to be learning a lot of stuff, and it's going to be a long time before you have time for languages again. And it's a totally fair point, but you know what? I have to disagree in a sense that that's everybody's excuse, right? A lot of the time, it's like, oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time for language learning, and that's something that I have always been proud of. Is that I make time for the things that are important to me. And I think that if you want to be a great language learner and speak a lot of languages really well, or even speak one language very well, if you decide that language learning is important to you, if you decide learning Spanish is important to you, or learning French is important to you, or if you're a polyglot or an aspiring polyglot and you say, I want to speak these 5 languages in the next few years or whatever, I feel like you have to make time, and that's how I feel right now. Yes, I'm extremely busy. I have a lot going on. I could spend all my time studying and preparing for these jobs, and if I get this job in San Francisco or or another one, if that doesn't work out, it's gonna be busy. There's gonna be a lot for me to learn. But I have to make time. I have to make time. And how do we do that? We do that through great organization with these tracking sheets, for example. And we do that by using my, things like this. I'll make a brand new dead time planner, because when I start working a new job soon, I'm still gonna have dead time, right? I'm still gonna have my mornings. And those are my 2 secret keys for success. I always make time in the morning, right? I can still get up at 5 o'clock and make time before work, and I'll still have dead time. And dead time, I'm not going to be studying programming or studying, web development. That's some of it, yes, but a lot of it, no. It's time when I can be on my phone doing flashcards, doing a Babbel course, or where I can be reading a book passively, not passively, extensively, or all kinds of stuff. So again, it's a great point. I'm going to be busy for a while. But you know what? This is, again, I keep saying this. I love it. I'm happy because this is relatable. All of us have busy lives, and all of our lives get really busy, and then maybe they get a bit quieter. And again, I think that you have to really be able to push through and make the time. So that's going to be a big thing for me. So now I'm going to switch over to German, I think, and then hopefully at some point today head over to the coffee shop. And so it's going to be a really interesting day. So let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments about your experience in terms of building momentum and losing it, and the impact that has on your language learning journey. And yeah, I'm excited to keep going and blast through the rest of level 6 in Portuguese.